Oh my God. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Yesterday I was studying and explaining many paintings related to Romanticism and Symbolism. Now, let me tell you, or let me continue with this episode where I have this painting by Manuel Ocaranza. First of all, let's talk about the central figure. This is entitled "The Mischief of Love" or "The Pranks of Love," and it is, of course, an allegory of love. You see a child with wings, insect-like wings, insect wings. They are translucent, they are transparent, and it reminds us to the god of love, Eros, who is a mischief, who is also a it's also the love of desire, love, and sexual attraction. It is depicted usually as a winged youth carrying a bow and arrows, which he uses to inspire love and lust in both mortals and gods. In Roman mythology, he is known as Cupid, Eros for the ancient Greeks and Cupid for the ancient Romans. This iconology, this iconography, this iconology uh, keeps in our imagination because we celebrate Saint Valentine's and Eros is well known because the heart icon and the and the and the heart that is pierced by a cross is also an icon that happens when we are in love. One more time, what is Eros? It is the Greek of God. This is he is the Greek love of love and sex and sexual attraction. Cupid is for the Romans, for the Roman mythology, and there is also a myth of Eros and Psyche. But now we have this iconography that Eros bow and arrows. Arrows he uses to make anyone fall madly in love. It is not because we might think that love is that Eros pierces us with pure love or with the infatuation of love, but it is truly mad. So Eros is not a god truly. That's something that Plato thought. Eros is that myth god or pseudo god that is not truly someone with a pure personality, um, something that you can think from this child innocence. Now, let's talk about this. This is a romantic painting that captures a humorous yet central moment. You have Cupid mischievously pouring a drop of poison over a rose. Ocaranza, the author, is a famous draftsman and colorist. He entered the San Carlos Academy in 1861, and by the end of that decade, uh, he he had impressed everyone with the originality of his subjects. It broke with all the conventions regarding epic history topics. In the past, painters painted epic historic epic historic paintings or epic historic topics of the construction of our nation, historical events, but he broke with all of those conventions, um, and he started to draw, he started to paint some originality subjects with originality of, of his subjects. He brought the myth, he brought uh, symbolism in his paintings. In this vein, in this work, uh, he executed some he executed an allegory chart with moral with moral significance and sentiment in line with romanticism in line with romanticism style, as well as works on allegorical mythical topics. Pranks of Love, or The Mischief of Love, is a work conceived as a light of is a work conceived as a light divertisement far removed from the presence of academic art. The delicate, graceful figure of the naked little boy, his body barely enveloped in a winding piece of sheer cloth, is that of the mystical Cupid, who mischievously and with a malicious look, that his body, one more time, uh, the Pranks of Love is a work conceived as a light of divertisement, far removed from the presence of the academic art. The delicate, the delicate, graceful figure of the naked little boy, his body barely enveloped uh, in a winding piece of sheer cloth, is that of the mystical Cupid, who mischievously and with a malicious look, in his eyes is symbolically is metaphorically corrupting the purity of the passions by poisoning what a white rose, thus exemplifying or representing the fire stratagems or the fire strategies, the evil strategies employed by love in pursuit of its ends. In pursuit of its ends. One more time. The, origin- the originality of his subjects, and then he executed an allegory chart moral significance and sentiment in line with the style of Romanticism, as well as works of symbolists of allegorical mythical topics. In this work, he charged moral significance and sentiment in line with Romanticism style, as well as works on allegorical mythical topics. Pranks of Love is a work conceived as a light divertisement, um, far removed far removed from the precepts of the academic art. The delicate and graceful figure of a naked little boy, his body barely enveloped, his body barely enveloped in winding piece, in a winding piece of sheer cloth, is that of the mythical Cupid, who mischievously and with a malicious look, in his eyes, is symbolically corrupting, is metaphorically corrupting the purity of the passions, the purity of the love represented in a white rose, and exemplifying and it is thus exemplifying the love stratagems, the bad strategies, stratagem,
Stratagem.
stratagem,
Stratagem.
stratagem, stratagem. The evil stratagem, the evil thus exemplifying the evil stratagem. Okay. Okay. um, what I told you about the instruments of love, the instruments of eros, you find it on the floor. You can see an a bow, you can see an arrow, some flowers, they are broken flowers that signify that the main text of love is not longer is no longer um, is no longer a method in pursuit of its ends, but the dark side. But the dark side. Also, all other elements related to love that are not taken into account, not only because of the not only because of the drop off, not only because the bow not only because the bow and flowers and the arrow are drop off, but because you have here in front of you this um, recipient, this transparent jar, this transparent jar, this transparent this glass jar,
Jar.
jar, this transparent, this glass jar containing water, and you might think water signifies purity as well. But in love is because love must be as transparent as clean water, as clean, as transparent, as pure as water is. And water is also a element that brings purity to love. So transparent. If you truly love, if you truly feel the sentiment to someone you love, you have to take into mind that you have to be water, crystal, transparent water. But Here we have Cupid. This portrays a child, possible Cupid, and Cupid is engaging in a dangerous and ironic act, mixing poison with a flower, symbolizing the symbolizing the duality of love and death. This naked child stands in front of an open cabinet filled with alchemical or medical tools with alchemical
Alchemical.
or medical tools, and in there you can see some other elements related to um, related to science, but witchcraft or witchcraft
Witchcraft.
or witchcraft. Uh, the child holds a flower in one hand and a small vial labeled with skull and crossbones, with a skull and crossbones in the other. There is a sheer blue cloth that drapes around his body, and let's look at some elements that tells that tell that tell us more symbolism about love. There is a snake that coils around the open door, and on the floor are scattered petals and glass containers. Are scattered petals and glass container. He is seated. He is gracefully seated on that elegant tool. Is on that elegant stool. On that elegant stool. And if we look at the aesthetic values, it demonstrates meticulous academic technique with realistic textures, precise anatomy, and harmonious proportions. These values beauty, innocence, and irony. The light enhances the child's skin on the texture of the fabric, glass and wood, emphasizing realism and idealized forms. The light is smooth, flowing lies around the child's body, illuminating enhancing him. Is a highly detailed fabric, glass, skin, wood are distinguishable. Fabric, glass, skin are distinguishable by their texture. Are distinguishable, distinguishable, distinguished, distinguished,
Distinguished.
distinguished, are distinguished by their texture, and we have a space. The space is deep, is created by the cabinets and in a realistic perspective. The child is experimenting and playing with dangerous substances. The scene critiques curiosity, innocence, and perhaps scientific ambition, but the presence of traditional symbols like the snake, a poison, a flower suggested a deeper allegorical reading. So let's jump into the this deep allegorical Now let's talk about the symbolism. And Cupids represent love, passion, sexual attraction, and eroticism. Poison. The poison signifies death, danger. Flower signifies love, beauty, and fragility. Snake, temptation, no leash, and evil, lavish. Elaborate and luxurious. And the owl is a clear symbol. It has two symbols. It represents wisdom and knowledge, especially in Greek mythology, where it is associated with Athena. But also, it is a creature of the night, representing darkness, mystery, death, or deception. Or deception. ¿Qué onda, guapa? ¿Qué hubo? Excelente. And deception. Why? Because in the night we are not creatures of the night. We are creatures of the day. We see everything in our world is is made up. Is made up. Is in the daylight. Is in the daylight, and we can see things at night. That's why the owl with its big eyes can see everything. He is aware of everything when the night covers our eyes. So the skull, so the skull, so the skull is a powerful symbol of mortality. It is a powerful symbol of mortality, death, and transience. It is a powerful symbol of mortality and transience of life. It is very common in vanitas paintings to remind viewers of the inevitability of death. The memento mori is a Latin phrase that tells us, remind you will die, remind you are mortal, remind this life on earth is inevitably not yours. You will die. We have the hourglass, and it is a clear symbol of time. It is when the only thing that is moving is the hourglass. Why? It is running out. The time is running out. Memento Mori. It is a clear symbol of time. It's because the gravity is forcing the sun to come through, to go through the glass, and it tells us about the brevity of life, and its inevitability of death. We have the flowing sound going down that represents the unstoppable flow of time, unstoppable flow of time and human limitation. It ends, we are dead. We have the mortar and pestle. We have the mortar and pestle.
Pestle.
Pestle. We have a mortal and pestle that is a symbol of transformation of the human power to transform nature. And in allegories, it's that the suggestion, the manipulation of nature, witchcraft again. Love is a gypsy child who never follow the rules. Is a gypsy child who never follow the rules. Okay, that's it. Now, here we have Alberto Foster Beltran, The Cult of Beauty. And what you see here is a nude or half naked people in an outer serene scene one more time with impressionist brushstroke, and they are Kiando. Some people are in a are standing or they are posing with some posters in the classical allegories, and they are not only relaxing, lying on the grass, but some of them are reflecting or chatting and all about beauty, because beauty is thinking. These thinkers is nude, is nudity, but it's also the intelligence. It's also intelligence. The cult of beauty is not only physical. It is something that it obviously happens here, but it is more than that. The is the way you are in the world is the way you are in the world, and you do many things. Alberto Foster Beltran, Cult of Beauty, and then we have Medus.
Méduse,
Medus.
méduse,
We have Medusa. Is generally describe a woman with living snakes in place of hair. It was that moment when Perseus, she is the Gorgon who was mortal. Hence, her slayer Perseus was the only hero who were able to kill her by cutting off her head, by cutting off her head, by cutting off her head. Okay, let's continue now and with living snakes in place of hair, and we have the dramatism here of the moment when you see only Medusa's hair by Julio Ruelas. I like to tell you about this magnolia. This magnolia is also a vanitans. This memento mori remind that you will die, and you have some elements that tells you or reminds you that. From an early age, Paula okay. Uf, no, 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 pasa nada. Ok, y ya vamos. Magnolia. This is full of symbolism. From an early age, he went to Germany again to study in the Academy of Art, and then he founded the Modern Mexican Magazine, a publication that first came out in 1898, and it is an indispensable source for those who wish to understand the aesthetic style of the 19th century and the consolidation of modernist movement in Mexico. In this composition, dominated by a large magnolia, the author shows. Have you smelled magnolia? The magnolia flower. It is magnolias are evergreen or are evergreen trees known for their lives. They are known for their large, fragrant, bowl, star-shaped flowers with numerous spirally arranged reproductive. They are so common, or they are well known for their large bowl, bowl, bowl fragrant, for their large, fragrant bowl, or star-shaped flowers with numerous petals. Magnolia, commonly known as the magnolia or bulbay, it's a tree. It's an evergreen tree. Images. Evergreen tree. Okay. The author shows his allegiance to the tendencies. His alliance. His alliance. His alliance.
Allegiance.
The author shows his allegiance to the tendencies of symbolism. All the items here all the items that accompany the flower are arranged to in a way of a modern vanitas. In a way of a modern vanitas, alluding to the fleeting nature of his allegiance.
Allegiance.
Allegiance. Fleeting.
Fleeting.
Fleeting. Fleeting. Alluding the fleeting nature of life and their insignificance of worldly success. It became popular in in the 17th century. The magnolia, the magnolia is a flower. Is a flower with there is a boat that is a boat that boat is the magnolia is both a symbol of transitions and an archetypal symbol of the soul. And you have a butterfly. The butterfly is a then you have a butterfly that represents the resurrection of the human soul or transformation. Um, but the dragonfly is a symbol of levity, provocative levity of levity of levity provocative. It's a symbol of levity and inconstancy. Levity and inconstancy. The only other man was the only what is strange is the man at the background does not seem to be connected to the central figure, to the figure. He is out of proportion. He is out of proportion with the rest of the composition, and it was apparently painted in a later date. This personification has a pensive look on his face. He has a pensive look on his face, and he turned his back. That means this reflection of the transience. Again, perhaps in allusion to his search, perhaps in allusion to his search for spiritual transcendence. Okay, that's it, baby, that's it. Julio Ruelas from Zacatecas went to Germany to study in the Academy of Art. He founded the he founded Modern Mexican Magazine, a publication that first came out in 1898, and it is a indispensable source for those who wish to understand the aesthetic style of the 19th century. It is a composition dominated by a large magnolia. The author shows his allegiance to the tendencies of symbolism. Now, let's talk about a picture that I like a lot. It is Naturaleza Muerta, that is in English Still Life. What still life? Still life first is a thing is a detailed and realistic depiction of inanimate objects, typically fruits, flowers, glassware, or kitchen items, arranged to explore themes of beauty, nature, abundance, and sometimes mortality. The tradition arranges clocks and skulls, candles, coins, sometimes referring to tranches life, referring to tranches of life. Why? Because we have limited time. We have limited time on Earth. Our time is slowly running out, and eventually we will die. This is the only certain that we have in life. We are temporary, and we will end. And we will end. We will die. They are also called vanitas. They are also called vanitas. Vanitas is a genre that explores mortality as well, but it comes from the Latin word that means vanity. And vanitas arrange elements more appropriated with luxury or a lot of elements that tell us about imaginary of transitory items. We have transitory items, and most of them are from power or from most of them are from power, luxury, luxury, pleasure, luxury, pleasure, and okay, that's it. And this genre explores also mortality. It comes from the Latin word uh, vanitas, which means vanity. We have only one certainty in life, and one certainty in life that we will die. That we will all die eventually. Vanitas was popular in the Netherlands when at that time, at that century, the 16th century, a lot of people moved from Catholicism to Protestantism, and then the art they needed to, and then they needed to express new ideas or what is the they needed to express the fragility of life, not from the canon of Catholicism, but in other terms. There is a glass. The here you have one, two, three, four, five, six elements, six objects, and you tell me, oh, but I see a man. I see a man. Yeah, it's a man, but it has become an object here, and that's interesting. That's a very powerful message of how a human being could become an object. So you have, there is a cup, there is a glass, there is a cup, there is a small cup, there is a glass. Let me tell you what's the meaning of a cup. You- What's the symbol of an empty cup and a symbol of glass with wine? Is it wine? Liquor. Brennery. 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 Brenner. Beer and it is beer. Yeah. Drink. Beer and ale. It's beer. Beer and good friends, good times. Good friends, good times. Brennery. Okay. And with beer, glass in paintings, in art, in paintings, on art. Okay, let's see what does it tell me. But what do they mean? An empty cup, absence, lack, loss, poverty, emptiness or spirit. And then glass with beer, it's celebration, it's socializing. So we have a contrast here. We have an empty cup that means or signifies emptiness of spirit, despair, uh, the end of celebration, the end of feast, death or mortality. And then we have a huge glass of of beer that is the opposite. It is the contrast. It is the contrast. It means celebration, socializing, pleasure, everyday life, abundance, prosperity. So we have a special contrast here, and the bottle that is the way, and the bottle behind it. Okay, it's beer, and then you have a drama event that happened before the man. It is a glass. It is a broken cup. And a broken glass cup. It is irreparable loss. It means irreparable loss and damage. What do you do when you have a broken glass? You can't fix it. You can't fix it. You can't do something else, and then you can start reading in a deeper way, and there is a history arc, and there is a narrative here that tells you grief, despair, angry, imperfection, despair, grief, sorrow, and fragility, transience. So maybe he might he, he might vote against someone, or someone someone might or someone might could have or someone could have someone could have been upset someone could have been upset with him, or he's just in despair, failure, imperfection, uh, fragility of tensions, irreparable loss and damage. So it is a broken cup. It cannot hold anything. It is lost. It is spoiled. It can represent a broken promise. It can also represent a broken promise, a shattered dream, a lost opportunity that cannot be recovered, a lost opportunity that cannot be recovered, a broken promise, a shattered dream. I love this. Now, I was telling you he is on a marble. He lies here. Let me tell you one more time here. Um, there is a glass of cava, a bottle, and there's a broken cup and some beer. We have some that was spilled. There's a man. Now, let's look at the man, the drunkard again. The painting offers a critical allegory of a modern life, not only because of his personal history, or not only because of his personal profile, his personal story, but also it is an allegory of modern life, particularly targeting alcoholism and decadence. And decadence. The man in a top hat, look at that top hat, lies slumped over. He lies slumped over his arms. He is slumped over a marble table. It's a it's a contrast. You wouldn't see a person like him, and it plays the irony. What is irony? Irony is just like plays with the irony is the what is irony? We know what irony is in our popular um, use, but in literature and art, irony is 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 a full significance for us, for the viewers, to the audience or the reader, of the character's words or the character's actions, but it is unknown to the character. He doesn't know what's happening in his life, but we know when we see through him. When we see through him, we can see the decadence. So we entirely understand, we have a full significance of a character's words or actions. Although unknown, these actions are unknown to the character. That's irony. One more time, we have the double senses. Something that is clear, something that is hidden. Okay, let me tell you more about this. And slumped him. This man slumped over the marble table, the white marble table, and it placed ir- ironically, ir- ironically, ironically, ironically,
Ironically.
iron- ironically, with the concept of still life by featuring a human subject rendered as lifeless. Rendered as lifeless. The top hat is a center figure. The black top hat is a center figure. His face is hidden. We might think he is a young man with dreams, with future, but he is. But besides, but he's hidden in his folded arms, and there is a labeled and the and and the table is labeled by the phrase "naturaleza muerta" or "still life." The man might have been part. The man might have been part of the high social class, as his coat, at his coat, cane, and high top and top hat say so. A young man that seems to be wrecked because he's hidden, lying on his arms because he is at that moment when our feelings ruin our faces. Our feelings ruin our faces. Our heavy, our mind is so heavy. Our mind is so heavy. Our thoughts are heavy. We don't want to see. We don't want to contact the world. We only want we only want to hide. The drama of the broken glass tells us how demolished and ruined he was then. And look at pay attention to that cigar. The cigar is running out. He while he's holding it in his fingers, so you can see some ashes uh, that have been spread on the. We have some movement. Some ashes are here, but he has just slumped over. The cane is somehow splintered. The cane is somehow splintered. So it tells us how angry is he. So it tells us anger. It tells us anger. So a cane by itself tells us authority, power, wisdom. A cane, age, masculinity, and gentility. It's a symbol of a gentleman, a symbol of authority, but it's broken, it's splintered. So it's the opposite: loss of authority, loss of control, vulnerability, helplessness, vulnerability, failure to feed, instability, loss of support. We are floating. Oh my god, that's so powerful. I like it too much. So here is some flies. There are some flies. Yes, you can see a fly. If you look at it next to the cane, there is a fly. And fly represents um, rot. They represent flood. They represent rot, decay. They are drawn by rot things. They are drawn by rotten things. and something smells rotten. Also, something evil, sin, demonic. So it has some demonic influence. Maybe you can remember the Lord of the Flies. It is a the Lord of the Flies because it is the cause of pestilence and disease. Okay, so the human has become an object. We have a life loss. We have a lost soul. Pleasure of alcohol, earthly pleasures like jewels or gambling objects, luxury objects. Um, the painting features realistic detail, precise textures, and muted palette. Um, we have the light that focuses on the man's hands, on the alcohol, guiding the viewer's attention through the elements through the items. Glass liquids are fabric are vividly contrasted, and our line is almost horizontal. We have a sense of heaviness or resignation. And the piece, the, the piece critiques urban excess, bourgeois decadence, or possibly existential despair. The man once vibrant is now rendered as part of a still life. The man once vibrant is now rendered as part of a still life. A commentary on alcohol of self-destruction. Colors are dominated by warm browns and whites. Dominate with the golden hue of the alcohol, standing out. Um, and we have a subtle pattern in the background that provides contrast to the figure. And the top half represents bourgeois respectability. Now is ironically slumped. It's not part of his head. Alcohol, instrument of command, addiction, social critique, acceleration, the broken glass, loss of control, loss. Irreparable, something that is irreparable damage, fragility and transience, sorrow, despair, grief, failure or imperfection. And the gain now, let me tell you something about Iago. Iago by Leandro Izaguirre. This work depicts one of the most iconic antagonists in literature, coming from Shakespeare's Othello. Iago represents multifaceted embodiment of evil, multifaceted embodiment of evil and destructive human traits. Look at the you can trust you can trust him. He looks apparently a gentleman. He looks pensive. He looks trustworthy. But if you know Jago well, he is pure malignancy. He takes pleasure in suffering. He takes pleasure in giving suffering and chaos that are without a clear proportional motive, because because he have he suffer, because he has envy of his friend. He his the very reasons he offered of his for his hatred they seem to be without proportion, displaying the depth of his cruelty. Displaying the depth of his cruelty. Jago is a master manipulator. He is renowned for his ability to gain trust, while simultaneously
sewing,
sowing, sowing, sowing,
sewing,
sowing, while simultaneously sowing seeds of doubt and exploit the weaknesses of those around him. He uses insinuation and unfinished sentences and outright lies to achieve his aims. Outright lies. And outright lies in pursuit to achieve his aims. He envy this envy fuels his desire for revenge and the destruction of those he perceives. Jago holds deeply cynical views of love, human nature, and women. He frequently expresses uh, disdain and derogatory opinions of women. So we have a contrast here. We only have Yago. We only have a portrait of Yago. Okay, now let's go to Louise Monroe, Orphans Before the Sepulchre of the Mother, and we have this woman. This woman is this work is The Hummingbird's Love by Manuel Ocaranza. Um, okay, we have a lot of elements here to discuss. We have a romantic and allegorical painting that explores longing, longing, longing,
longing,
longing,
longing,
longing,
longing,
longing. That explores longing, longing, desire, longing,
longing,
journey,
longing,
journey, journey,
yearning,
journey. Okay, I prefer that. That explores journey, innocence. That explores journey, innocence, and the fleeting nature of love. The hummingbird that is here serves as a metaphor for the lover or love itself. That hummingbird reminds me to the song by Bizet that is in French. L'amour est un oiseau. L'amour est un oiseau. Est un oiseau rebelle. L'amour est un oiseau rebelle by Bizet. L'amour, it reminds me the song in Carmen. L'amour est un oiseau rebelle. uh, that is a, that is a song. It's an aria romantic. That is a popular name for L'amour est un oiseau rebelle or Habanera by Bizet. Uh, by Bizet in the opera comique Carmen. In the opera comique Carmen, this aria. Dun, 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 dun. L'amour est un oiseau rebelle. L'amour est un oiseau rebelle. In English, is just like love is a wild bird. No one can tame. That no one can tame. And you waste your time trying to catch it. Nothing helps, no threats or pleas. Love is a wild bird that no one can tame, and you waste your time trying to catch it. Nothing helps, no threats, no helps, no threats or pleas. And then in another part it says, the bird you hopped, the bird you hopped to surprise, beat his wings and flies away. Wait for love and you'll lose out. Wait for love and you'll lose out. Give up and it will appear. Love's all around you. Then it's gone. Now it's back. Just when you think you've lost it, there it is. So that tells me how this young woman in a white dress stands at a window holding a blue envelope, possibly of the love, possibly a love letter close to her heart, and the Homer bird hovering over a white lily. It is a white lily in front of her. Look at that moment. It's an romantic and allegorical moment of love, of a story, of a love story, of sentiment, of romanticism. Okay, romanticism. Tell me, it's in the opera comique Carmen. Love is a wild bird that no one can tame, and you waste your time trying to catch it. No threats, nothing helps, no threats, no pleas. I will whatever. Ah, okay, okay. One more time, a hummingbird that reminds me the song in the comic opera Carmen by Bizet, that in French is called L'amour est un oiseau rebelle. L'amour est un oiseau rebelle. That in English is a bird is a wild bird. Love is a wild bird. And I continue the song. Love is a wild bird that no one can tame. and you waste your time trying catch it, trying to catch it, and you waste your time trying to catch it. Nothing helps, no threats, no helps. And there is another part, and there is another, uh, and there is another stanza, or there is another verse that says, and then later in another verse it says, the bird you hoped to surprise, the bird you hoped to surprise, beats its wings and flies away. Beats its wings, beats beats its wings and flies away. Wait for love, and you lose out. The the bird the bird you hope to surprise beats its wings and flies away. Wait for love, and you'll lose out. Wait for love, and you'll lose out. Give up, and it will appear. Love's all around you, then it's gone. Now it's back. Just when you think you've lost it, there it is. Just when you think you've lost it, there it is. So let me tell you what. See, it's it's a it's a young woman who stands in a white dress, that stands at the window holding a blue envelope, possibly a love letter, possibly a love letter to her heart. And a hummingbird shows up and hovers over a lily, and hovers over a white lily in front of her. So this word belongs to romantic academicism, marked by its emotional tone, marked by this emotional tone, exquisite realism and rich detail. The soft textures and vibrant colors convey tenderness and idealized beauty. Colors are dominated white white. The center focus, the light is spotting her, and you have greens, reds, and golds, yellows, and the flower and her dress contrasts with the vivid red, with the contrast with the vivid red sash and the natural greenery. There is a soft lining that there is a soft lining um, that accentuates there is a soft lining that accentuates ivy. The woman's purity. All white represents purity and creates a dream-like atmosphere. And creates a dream-like atmosphere. Uh, you have a you have some curved forms. We have the lily, slightly curved, and her posture it's only, also the vines. All of them they enhance softness and femininity. We have two flowers. One is green, is lavish. Okay, you have two flowers. One on one on the left. It it doesn't have a flower. Its petal. It's round. It's rotten. We don't have flower. Someone is broken. We have the absence. We have absence. And the lapis flower, it bursts with life. It bursts with life. An exquisite beauty, fragrant, is a masterpiece of natural perfection. Um, its petals are plump and velvety. Its color is intense, vibrant, fragrant, deep, pure, luminous white. Um, so we have a promise. We have a promise. We have life. We have death and life. We have a red drapery. And the symbol of the red drapery. A red drapery means royalty, power, authority, status, imperial grandeur. But here it means love and desire. Red is universally recognized as a color of love, passion, and romance. So the red drapery is used of a scene of intimacy, seduction, fervent affection. It's fervent affection. And it doesn't mean anger, rage, or danger. It also is drama and theatricality, especially in Baroque painting. Uh, Sweeping and voluminous red drapery is often used to add intense drama. It's just to add intense drama and movement to the composition, So we have this intimate indoor that um, has a dialogue with what is outside, but when you see a window, it means possibility, freedom. He is showing us with those draperies. One is dropped off, and the other one is hanging, and that movement to the composition is not one more time imperial grandeur or ecclesiastical power as it was taken in Baroque art. But here it's only in romanticism is all about love and desire. We have intensity of in this scene. We have emotional intensity and enhances this and also adds drama and theatricality, theatricality, and that's it. And theatricality, and that's it. Intimacy, seduction. We have this vibrant sash. Now, the color harmony. We have the a romantic moment The subject matter is a romantic moment of romantic contemplation. The woman's embrace of the letter and her gaze toward the hummingbird suggests an inner world of desire, imagination, and memory. Colors, the figure is centrally framed by the window and green shutter, and, and a green shutter. The color harmony between the indoor and outdoor greens balances interior emotion and exterior nature. We have the vase, we have this amazing vase and curtain, we have an ivy. Uh, they are all elements that layered that create a layered depth. Hummingbird is a symbolism is a symbol in Latin American European culture. It's a sign of ephemeral love. It's a sign of ephemeral love, passion, and also it's a messenger. Lily is a symbol of purity, femininity, chastity or waiting. It it is associated to the Virgin Mary also, and I don't know, but he might think you, according to the symbol, you might think she's pregnant, or she wants to be pregnant, or she is in desire of many things. So love, and then you see a story here, an narrative arc, and the rest suggests as sexuality or emotional intensity. The vine is growth, natural natural entanglement, and time. The window by itself it means private and inner emotion and external possibility, freedom. And finally, at the end, I'm gonna tell you, or I want to tell you about this painting that is entitled "Votive Offering" or Saint Sebastian by Angel Saraga. Okay, um, this is a particular painting that blends two traditions, the Catholic values melting with the modern and hedonist values. You can see a martyr, but it's not truly a martyrdom. A martyrdom. So, um, this work, Saint Sebastian, is a symbolist work par excellence. It depicts a woman kneeling in front of the martyr, whose face and naked, whose face and naked, arrowed, pierced chest emanate a powerful sensuality, so much powerful. This work is also known as a votive offering, or also known as ex voto. An ex voto is is one of the objects is enough is it's an offering to the god. It's an offering to God. Is a promise. It may be a promise. It may be a an offering because some offerings that are deposited in a secret place for religious purposes. And now, if it is an offering or it might be a vow,
vow, vow,
Vow. It might be a vow or a promise. If it is an offering, as it is in this case, it is an expression of gratitude and thanksgiving. So let me translate you here from Spanish to English. Lord, I don't know how to worship. I'm not a poet. Señor, no sé celebrarte como el poeta en versos complicados, pero acepta, Señor, esta obra áspera y humilde que he hecho con mis manos mortales. Okay, it says, Lord, I don't know how to celebrate you like the poet in complicated verses, but accept, Lord, this rough and humble work that I've made with my mortal hands. That I've made with my mortal hands. Okay, so this is a translation of this plate, and it is a gratitude. It's an expression of gratitude and thanksgiving for some blessing received, for some gift, for some gift received, answered prayers or divine intervention. So the votive offering, coming from the Catholicism, is shown in this lower background, where it comes about because of the posture, and also it comes about because of the posture and demeanor of the characters. And demeanor of the characters. So this work is full of contrasts. It's full of contrasts. I start by saying the position and the postures. There is a woman on the right. The woman on the left is the kneeling woman. Is in a religious position. She is praying. She is praying, and then you have a man that stands gracefully. Not only he is tied to the post like suffering, but he is just standing there. And you can see the rope are not tightly tied, and that's it. Okay, so now let's look at about what they wear. The woman is in black dress. Um, in contrast with the luminous tones of the saint, this balance the composition, but also is a full contrast. The painting, uh, the uh, the painting was. Now let me tell you quickly who is Sebastian. Sebastian is a patron contagious contagious diseases. He was alive around the year 256 and he died in 288. And he was alive around 256 and died in 288. Sebastian left the comfort of his home in the countryside. Sebastian left the comfort of his home in the countryside and went to the heart of Rome to become a soldier. Then he became Christian, and it happened at that time that the Emperor Diocletian was pursuing Christians, was persecuting Christians. So if you were Christian, you could either be arrested and tortured, or even put to death, or even put to death. And Sebastian used his position as a soldier, as a Praetorian guard, to help Christians. So when the Emperor Diocletian, found out that one of the best and brightest soldiers became himself a Christian, and thinking that he had been betrayed, had Sebastian tied to a post and ordered to kill him by by throwing arrows, a lot of arrows. So according to this story I told you, this legend, he became sent. He was a martyr. You see a martyrdom, but in the earliest paintings of Saint Sebastian, it was portrayed as an older man, with white hair and white beard. Then Sebastian became younger. Throughout centuries, and finally in the Renaissance, sometimes appeared as a very young youth, just like it happens here. It was likely more out of the artist's desire to depict the human form, to show the masculinity, to show the beauty of a man, to show the beauty of a man's body, to exemplify how to paint it. Was only for that purpose. So man became sensual. So man's body became sensual at a time, with more curves, more gracefully painted, and more delicate. So that's why, with that in mind, we'll take a look at this painting. Okay, in it, it is an appreciation of religion and an irony, or mixing, or of mixing coexistence of two worlds. On one hand, we have the traditional academic and Catholicism values. On the other hand, we have the modern values. In the martyrdom, we don't have. If we take into account the martyrdom, we might find suffering items that tell us about Roman garb, but he is only nude, wearing nicely a loincloth, and his loincloth showing his thighs, very close to the genitalia, and that emphasizes his sensuality. We have these curved things. On the other hand, we have a straight woman. We have a rigid posture. Even though she is kneeling, she is rigid, she is straight. She's straight. And here, besides now, besides the legend of being pierced by numerous arrows, here's here there's only one arrow that was intentionally pierced into his chest, toward his heart, and below his nipple. One more time, giving us this, and one more time, romanticism, sensuality, and pure love, eros and divine and religious love and erotism. Erotic suffering. You might find some erotic suffering. His face is not one who suffers. There's no pain or shock, nothing to resist. On the contrary, the look on his face is calm, is calm, serene, placid, untroubled. On the other hand, the woman in black dress is the black dress is not only it was popularized by Coco Chanel and became an icon of elegance and style, fashion. Then it was associated with luxury and formality, making black dress a symbol of refined taste. But here you can track the that the black dress also means grief. Means in many Western cultures, black is the color of grief. It's a color of grief. Is long time women wore black as a sign of bereavement. As a sign of bereavement. As a sign of bereavement. Long time women wore black as a sign of bereavement. There was many dresses in black to that purpose. But after that, Coco Chanel became this icon to the elegance, and also we have some modern signs. The hair is not long. Yes, this is just like it was in the 20s. When short hair when short hair became fashionable in the 20s. Styles included a bob cut, this bob cut, um, that is that is cut that is cut evenly. Uh, that is a symbol of liberation, modernity. It was a defiance against traditional norms with notable periods of popularity. Traditionally traditionally long hair was traditionally it was short because of practical reasons like work and health. So there's no more traditions here to say. Then it became black dress became a icon of power, and finally the background. The background is a sophistication. It happens in a room. You have a pale gray wall instead of things. Instead of things, that has that happy here. Okay, so that's it. Bye bye.